Good evening, my friends. How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday evening? East Coast, US of A. It is 8:38 p.m. East Coast, United States of America, coming to you guys live. Checking out Bitcoin's 4-hour chart. Once again, another kind of relatively boring sideways price action of Bitcoin. Alts are holding-ish, because Bitcoin's still in the potential bullish pattern. Chart dynamics channel support holding, as we are still continuing in this range that we've been stuck in. Sounds pretty good. That we've been stuck in for, oh my God, days, weeks. It seems like it's forever. 39.14 is where we're currently at. We were there in December, okay? Christmas Day, we passed through the exact same price point we were at today. Okay, the December 1st, Thanksgiving-ish, end of Thanksgiving, I guess, we were at the exact same price in Bitcoin we are at today. And from this price point of $3,800, $3,900, we have been up as high as $500 higher than we are currently, and we have been as down as almost $800 below our current price action. And from November, and from December, and from January, and from February, and now, folks, my friends, as we close out the last week of the month of March, we are once again still in this ranging, hard to argue with this not being consolidation or accumulation through consolidation, testing the range of what the 3000s truly means. Is the 3000s the 200s of the 2014 bear market consolidation before the bull run? Is this the equivalent? We were in the 200s. We're now 10x that. We're now 10x where we were in our last Bitcoin bear market consolidation, and that's what we're doing here. And we're kind of what, midway through, third of the way through, you know, testing the range, maybe a little spike higher, maybe a little spike lower. But more or less, we're going to keep maintaining our 3Ks, right? Because we've been maintaining it. We've been putting in higher lows, 31, 33, 36, 36.80, 37.50, 38.50. Okay, we are putting in higher lows, right? That's bullish, right? Finding the consistency up the staircase. But wait a minute, wait just a moment here. We're also putting in lower highs. Okay, lower highs, 4,400, 42-ish, 41-ish. We put in a higher low that lasted like what, half a day, half a freaking day before a major, and frankly, up until now, our last really big 4-hour price drop of 41.50 all the way down to like 37.50. What is that, like $400 that quickly in a 4-hour candle? 10% move in Bitcoin in a 4-hour candle, and we haven't seen that in that one quick time period, you know, since this cluster here. But that was actually over several. That was over a day actually. 400 all the way down to 35 there. Okay, another $400 move, another right here, you know, 41 down to 37, another $400 move, bearish, bearish, bearish. So our bearish moves on our ranging have been much more violent, and from a percentage standpoint, much more volatile than our bullish moves, even in these moves here where we went from 33 to 37. Okay, I guess that's like that's actually pretty good actually. That was our last big one there. This was over a day here, you know, 36 to 38. And then our last big bullish move, 39 to 41. And then since that ranging and this channel consistently has been holding, Resistance, mind a couple of wicks here and there. Again, the 4-hour. Support around this area here. And the middle channel is actually rather accurate in terms of just kind of the trends. We hug it, we range it, we test it, we break it, and then if we break it, we definitely test our lower range, which we've done. And I found on the 4-hour at least a couple decent bottoming, I shouldn't say bottoming, but a couple decent wicks. We have buyers from 38.57 to 38.90 that has held on kind of weak volume, relatively speaking. But every time we keep having these longer wicks, how many longer wick candles, red ones that, mind you, have been bought up, you know? How many lower wicks do we have through this entire ranging period? Okay, we got 1, 2, these aren't really that big, like $20. So we have a couple upper wicks here, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, 7-ish, maybe a little more good sized lower wicks, as we've been ranging all through March here in this very tight pattern. Now, the obvious is true. Bitcoin ranges. Bitcoin has a chance to go bullish. Altcoins have been maximizing on that after several months of consolidation in their own bottoming patterns. 64 of my closest friends hanging out with me tonight. Claiborne Taylor, AJ Productions. Always good to see you, my friend Pat Canyon Man, Joe Friedenberg, Tone Look. What's up, my buddy? Jasper, hello. William Tempe, I'm glad to have you here as well. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great reminder there. Thumbs up. I much appreciate it. JC Crypto, SS Swartz 88. Rick, hello, dude. PLC, what's up, my friend? Yeah, higher leverage. I mean, listen, crypto world market here, okay? It's not... I was thinking about this today. We got cryptocurrency market cap here, okay? Look at very top of the screen here. BTC dominance, 50.7. Okay, so half. I don't know, should I do night mode? Some reason I find it harder to look at. I guess it's okay. I guess that was a little too bright there. Dark. Half the money in crypto is in Bitcoin. Half the money in crypto is number one here. Okay? The other $70 billion, billion with a B, is in 2 through 2,129. Now, granted, the actual value, the actual true money flow, the actual circulating supply, all these are suspect and subject to change. So this number of 138 billion even in itself, or 24-hour volume of 34 billion even in itself, is rather suspect. But look at this, Bitcoin's 24-hour volume. We have been riding this much higher volume profile. You know, in a way, I feel we really haven't seen for a while, to see us back over 10 billion daily in our Bitcoin specific price action here. 10 back-to-back 10 billion. You know, the nines have been holding consistent here. I mean, it's been impressive to see the volume of Bitcoin's transaction increase volume-wise, because we remember, I'm not going to bring it up, but back in, let's call it the end of last year, we were in the 3 or 4 billion. You know, so we've added roughly almost $5 to $6 billion every day of whatever volume this particular index is tracking here. And I say that with a hint of sarcasm, in the sense that we notice a lot of our actual volume or exchange money flow potentially, definitely is manipulated, fake, wash trading, exchanges themselves making it look like there's much more money flow, cash value, actual volume, dollar bill, y'all, going through the Bitcoin markets, buying Bitcoin and selling Bitcoin. Bitcoin circulating supply 17,600,000. of a total max supply of 21 million, which will be achieved in about 100 years from now or so. So keep that in mind. Market cap again, 70 billion. You know, we're still $30 billion below where we were just a couple months ago, when with 100 seems such like a solid area to hold. Anyways, we closed our daily candle 48 minutes ago. Let's take a look at it. So a couple things here. Back to back. Okay, back-to-back lower wicks. Okay, so we still have buying pressure in the 38s, high 38s, corresponding with an area of, let's call it resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles, pretty much 8 candles, and then all this range here. So many days we ranged below, closing below 38.60, except for this 2 outliers that did not hold, and then being able to break that resistance at 38.60 was notable. And then the back test, look where that freaking candle, yesterday's candle, or I guess 2 days ago candle, closed, retesting what was once resistance, currently acting as support now. Boom. And that's kind of like where we're at. We've tested and held 38.50 on higher than average volume compared to the previous 3 days. The follow-up to that was lower. Okay. Bullish. We closed roughly inside the previous candle's bearishness on weaker volume. True. And where do we close our resistance? Where we're currently at, kind of in 39.20 area-ish. And that corresponds with this candle's area of support, and pretty notable support. This is our highest daily volume since very early March, was this candle. And where did it to the T find support that day? The low was 39.15. So there was a very strong area of support that kept the price up for 5 more days. And now we're retesting that area. Okay, and right at it there, trying to break through it as resistance, also corresponding with resistance here and here. So a very tight range here. And because of the middle channel resistance turn support, anything getting us right back to 4K one more time. I mean, let's face it, how many times does this market have to test 4K and fail to close above it, fail to hold above it? We've closed above it daily, right? We haven't closed above it weekly. Have we even closed above it on the 2-day? After this guy here? Right there, 401. God darn it, right there. 4. Close. Look at that. 4,000.80 by 85 cents. By 85 cents on the 2-day, we were able to close above it as well on the 3-day. Now, the 3-day candle, interesting enough, we have... we're day 2 of this guy, looks like. Yeah, because day 3 is the 29th, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're day 2 of the 3-day. Not that shabby. I wanted to bring up my Bollingers. I wanted to bring up my weekly chart. I wanted to talk about how holding and kind of back testing middle Bollinger resistance turn support, because let's face it, folks, we did close above last week, and we did open above this guy right here, our current weekly candle, as we are only a couple days into our current weekly candle, right? Even though we're having it red, and even though our volume is really not always stepped in yet, we're very much holding our middle Bollinger support as our weekly candles are continuing to tighten. Overall, Leo AV, hello, my friend. Captain Mexcal Nada. Thanks, my buddy. Listen, we have a situation here where Bitcoin has been drifting higher. Okay, our lowest point, what was our low? 3337.873334. Our lowest point was the last week of January, and ever since then, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we are on the potential of our 8th week of putting in higher to stable price action in Bitcoin's weekly. And we have not seen a tight, look how tight, okay? We have not seen weekly non-volatility, which I guess is stability. I guess that makes sense. When was the last stability of bullishness, right? We have seen since then, and I got to go back, right? We got to go back. Something looks very familiar about this here. Okay, now this was slightly different. We were ranging above middle Bollinger support for weeks here and riding up our upper Bollinger in a significantly bullish pattern. We're not even close to being there for 2 reasons. Number one, look how tight the Bollingers were on our weekly. Even though we have consolidated significantly from back here, from the tightness, and this is something we actually have as a keystone to know what a tight volatility Bollinger on the weekly can become. A separation here of a lower BB at 57, 77, so almost a $2,000 separation here. Okay, broaden our bearishness. Fast forward to today, $1,700. So we have less width of our Bollingers at 2/3 less the price, right? So we're in a very similar ratio spread on our weekly Bollingers in a way that we have seen only recently prior to our bearish break. And look at the candles preceding the volatility that increased in our price action of Bitcoin. We're 3 weeks of extremely tight price action, like dead stick level low volume. And look at our volume profile now. We're getting eerily close, people, eerily close to what we had seen before our previous major moves in the price action there. Crap. I'm going to have my Bollingers. I'm going to bring up my MA 50, 100, 200, MA 200. You know, I remember back in December, oh my God, MA 200, 3100s. We found it, we bounced. We found it again, 3300s back in January. We found that we bounced. And now it's all the way up to $3,500. And how many times can this bouncing ball, this basketball, this soccer ball, this volleyball, this golf ball on a hard surface, this lacrosse ball, not a medicine ball and not a speed ball, but a super ball, bouncing and bouncing, losing momentum. How does a super ball supposed to get a higher high when the force pushing it is decreasing? And how could a third touch, 1, 2, 3 of our MA200 be the inducer to bring us higher and potentially into the 4Ks and retesting our 5K? You want to tell me that 3 tests of our MA200 on our daily chart is going to be that catalyst that's going to basically propel us higher? I mean, how many times is the chart going to say, okay, we're going to test our MA200 triple times, and that's going to say, okay, we're convinced? No. A third test of these red dots weekly, remember this takes us into April, and it's around $3,400. I'd be very bearish if we actually got back down here again. Especially, and I really say this with our declining volume profile overall. 22 minutes, okay. Let's look at our EMA 26, our EMA 12. I love the fact that the price action has been very accurate with the EMA 12 support, 4 weeks running. And not only support, but closed above it, tested it, closed above it, tested it to the penny last week, broke it intra-week this week, and has brought itself above. Because it has brought itself above, EMA 26, 44, 83, and falling every week. And this EMA 26 has not been touched since it was touched to the penny back here the week of September 3rd. So I'm curious about the last touch, about $7,400. We just knocked $3,000 off that Bitcoin price as we fast forward to now. Remember, this is weeks here. So next week, was it 35, 40? So it's going to probably drop about 40, about $50 more dollars, about 43, maybe a high $4,300 area. And let's face it, EMA 12 support on the weekly becomes EMA 26 in play test, which is again coinciding with our $4,400 region, which for now, this top here we had at 441489 remains our peak resistance, and ironically coincides with our EMA 26 in the next week or so as we approach the new month of April. And speaking about the month of April, let's just look at our monthly chart real quickly here as we still are in the last week of March. On 1, 2, 3, 4th consecutive declining volume week. EMA 50 support will start at $3,200 on April 1st and has yet to be tested on the monthly time frame. Hoorah. Actually, I think that's true. Potentially in the past with stamp. Doesn't look like it. Oh, I take that back. There it is. The stamp, it was tested here and induced quite a bounce at $229. So that's cool. The last time the MA50, let's zoom into this here. Actually, what is BLX? That will give us the most, the deepest, the most far back Bitcoin price action of the MA50 of the monthly was broken twice, held support, closing month, never closed below, right? Never closed below. This is back in January, the Bitcoin's low of 2015 and the retest there. Okay, so what does this tell us? It tells us that monthly, intra-month, we can break the MA50. But we've yet to close below it in Bitcoin's history. And now here we are, untouched, and it's gonna touch it. Of course, the MA50 and the price action will touch. The question is, does it happen in April at $3,200, or does it happen in June at $3,400 after we've gone up to 45, maybe even 5K? Do we go higher before we go lower? I am fairly convinced we're going lower. But do we go higher before we go lower? What's happening? Something's happening. Something's happening. Whoa, what is this? What is this? What is this? Bitcoin spiking past couple minutes here. Yes, sir. Let's take a look here. So we have Bitcoin's price action ranging for such a long time and trying to get a little pump up here as we're actually seeing altcoins as well. Have some continuation momentum, still putting in lower highs. Remember, we're still putting in these lower highs from just a couple days ago. Okay? Don't get spooked out. Spooked out, is that a word? Spooked out by these pushes of our price action. as we are still seeing, even at Bitcoin 3940. Okay, we were here what a day ago. We were higher than where we currently are. We are a day ago. Back testing. Okay, back testing an area of support, and now trying to be broken through as resistance. And we're seeing, look at, I just got to bring up EOS here, because look at that guy, huh? 7%, 2 hours into today's price action here. Using Bitcoin's, look at that ranging. Oh, this is on Phoenix. Let me see if I can get Binance. Yeah, same deal on Binance there. Declining and looks like it's breaking out of its wedge. She looks like it did that a couple days ago. Well, this is the hourly. Oh, a couple hours ago. And then boom. Now, again, let's go back to the 4 hour here. First things I start to look at are the RSI, 84 on the 4 hour. We have examples of 88s and 87s. Good money flow came into that guy there. That was a good spike of the dollar action that came into that guy there. Remember, 4 hour, we're also pretty high here on our Stoke. And we don't tend to stay up here very long when we do get up here. Nice spike in our OBV oscillator, but these tend to spike quickly and then consolidate. And we're way above the Bollinger on our TDI here. And similarly, don't get ahead of ourselves with the red one there as well. So nice movement here as we start EOS. Looks like it's the nice mover here as today, as Bitcoin is trying to range here. And listen, I still have up my EMAs, okay? 1226 in the 4 hour, hitting that 26 resistance there. See you on the 6 hour. Trying to get back up there. So this is a great example here of how I like to use my EMAs. And you can use this basically in figuring out overbought or oversold conditions. You know, it's about the spread out. You know, we have a good example here of how wide this can be on the bullish side, and then how far below the price action can be from the EMAs as they cross bearishly here. So the support lower wicks here on the 6 hour especially brings the price action back up to retest these and allows the EMAs to curve up there. Let's see. Let's go back to the 4 hour there. I want to see how high. Yeah, see, we were seeing our RSI, our stochastic here already beginning to range higher. And our RSI is now back testing once again said key area, and that wants to lead me to my daily, because did we close? Yeah, see, now we're back over 50. So there was our test of 50 support, which we actually broke intraday yesterday. I remember I checked this out earlier in the day. We were actually lower in our pre-candle there, noting more or less this kind of not very accurate, but you know, we have a test here. We didn't get as low. Other test here on the plane. And holding that 50 is very important, especially in our daily. Let's check out a couple other, the heck was that? Daily indicators. MACD here, still ranging bearish. Okay, we're still putting in a negative histogram third day in a row and still spreading out here. And a lot of that just has to do with our lack of actual money flow. And I continue to note our dollar volume profile continues to decline, and decline very relatively to some of the bearishness. And only this is what I want to pay attention to here. this candle price action here, but mostly it's here. It's this December 14, 15, 16, 17, 8, like 17, 16, like 16 through 20. Okay, this is our best example here, this cluster here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, this is the best bull volume from a dollar standpoint that we actually have to track. Since then, everything, even the bullish guys, have been significantly lower profile, less money flowing into Bitcoin. Now, maybe that has to do with a lot of money flowing into altcoins. I'll give altcoins definitely the benefit of the doubt. You know, because they've had the bullish divergence, they've had the percentage gains in a way that we haven't seen in a lot of, you know, in Bitcoin's price action. If you've been basically riding Bitcoin for the past several months, you've more or less been kind of in the same direction, and yet altcoins have been definitely, like, it's hard to argue at this point that we haven't gone through, you know, quite an alt season, more or less ever since we've basically been doing this ranging support area of price action we've been seeing for the better part of 2019. 100 of you guys watching me live. Guys, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a follow on Twitter. Follow on YouTube. Much appreciated for your support here. 100 of one of my closest friends. Let's keep an eye here on our short-term time frame. 4 minutes to go in this 15-minute candle here. And did people get trapped in some longs here? Or did people get another opportunity to load up their shorts? Remember, this move just retested our previous range of support from March 22nd through 24th. For now, being concerted and being tested and being confirmed as resistance, right? We can pull back our Bollingers here, and we see again lower time frame, 15-minute. Don't want to get too ahead of our skis there. Closing outside of our BOBO on the 15, closing outside on our hourly as well. Remember, we're still a lot of time left in this currently hourly candle. So I'm not going to call this by any means a shooting star or a sell-off with mostly the entire candle left to go. Okay, but let's face it, a lot of volume in this 15-minute, as definitely some money was taken off the table. So what kind of a follow-up are we going to get? And as I remove here my EMAs, and I see that the 4-hour Bollingers have a spread after being rather tight, broken through, and middle Bollinger retest in play with still about half the candle to go. Just back testing right here. Okay, this is just noise to me, right? $3,700 to $3,900, you'd go freaking nuts trying to kind of break this pattern down. If you don't keep zooming out and discover what the true range of this whole thing is, and after how many months here, you know, it's pretty clear that holding support, and I'll take this as low as 3650 area, is just a great area to hold support. We can get that low and still be bullish, right? And the resistance here around $4,200, which has been tested numerous times, is still as strong as it was at the times it was currently tested. Everything between this, which frankly we've been in through for a month, is just noise. It's just kind of unnecessary noise that, okay, Bitcoin's between here and here, that's good, I can still stay long on my alts. Right? It's a good idea, Andre. So these are the things that I think about. where best to position my money, where best to position looking for trades. Okay, I analyze Bitcoin till I'm blue in the face, and yet I see this as a just holding pattern to allow our altcoins and the money flow to continue to test, to flow, into them using the stability of Bitcoin. And what do I mean by stability of Bitcoin? Look how insanely low our Bitcoin volatility is. I mean, look at this. This is BitMEX. Okay, this is one particular exchange, but we just see how, I mean, look at this thing. If this was a chart, which it is, but I mean, it's part of it's a falling wedge, part of it's a channel, right? With a slight hint to a tightening wedge pattern here, but the channel continues to decline, sub 1, and we can get as low as the 50s and the 40s and be there extended for weeks, just as we were in October, November, before that massive volume and massive volatility, which at the time just happened to be bearish, came into play. This is an example of our bearish volume, and then some of these are examples of our bullish volume. Hence, these guys here. And wow, April 2017. Look at that sucker. Woo, doggy. Right? So you talk about volatility, right? And then you look at freaking where we are now. Okay? We do this. Bitcoin does this. Patterns followed by big spikes. Remember, all those huge, big moves last year in Bitcoin. April's move, July's move, and August's move. Okay, here's our August move. This is our September bearish move. Remember, these are not bearish or bullish. They're just volatility spikes. But in between each one of these is the exact same pattern that we're putting in right now. Okay, volatility shows up after periods of non-volatility. And when it does, it's quick. It's quick and it's deliberate. It's a deliberate bullish move. It's a deliberate bearish move. And for now, our volume is quite anemic. And our volatility is quite anemic. And every little, $20, $30, $40 pop in Bitcoin, this channel, which I talked about yesterday in a couple of my tweets, and about finding, this bottom support once again, holding, bouncing once again 12 hours, so we're on a higher time frame, and we're still seeing these lower wicks, right? We're still seeing the lower wicks on the higher time frame, the 12 hour. We saw it on the 6 hour as well. Okay, so the buyers are there. Targeting middle channel resistance can bring us just to the cusp of 4K. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, we're very young into our current 12-hour candle. Okay, last 12-hour candle was pretty good. Bullish engulfing, higher than the previous volume there. Nice lower wick there. Okay, there is stability here. Okay, and still that buying pressure holding it, holding us, holding Bitcoin in this channel. But what does this now mean? This now reinforces how strong 3850 area has to be now, right? We've held it, we've bounced another almost $100, right? $100 and rising, trying to get back up to, but let's see the volume behind it. Let's see a volume candle bullish like this bearish mofo we had back in February. Okay, as we get lower volume, higher price, okay, maybe we can just reset our very low RSIs on the higher time frames. This move here, this $100 move, has brought our 6 hour RSI from 32 to 48. Okay, these are examples of how we can just reset maybe some of our middle moderate time frames and back test areas of support, now confirming currently as resistance, and then seeing that consistent across the board here. And what in theory does a real breakout mean of Bitcoin's price action? We got to get back over $4,000, people. I mean, let's face it. You want to convince real money to start flowing back in this thing, to think that the mid 4,000s, the higher 4,000s are a possibility? You want the market to feel that's the case? You got to get Bitcoin above 4K. I want to briefly, let's see here. What do we got here? 43. Let's keep it going here. Whoa, what the heck just happened there? Regular. Nope, let's do... Boom. All right, Bitcoin, let's do it. Let's do it. What do we got here? Still pumping. Let's get as high. Remember, the range was around 39.69 area. But look at the volume comparatively. Look at the, I'm on the 5-minute here. Okay. Look way down here. You can even see it. Okay, we have a couple examples of higher than normal volume spikes here. Okay, we have yet to see that big one on lower time frames. That's too small, isn't it? Let's get this up to 20. That's better. Okay, we want to see the follow through. That's a great idea. Let's take a look here at longs and shorts and see what's going on. Bitcoin longs. See, look at that. Bitcoin longs in the past 10 minutes have actually liquidated. Some taking some money off the table, and Bitcoin shorts have taken also a little bit of money off the table in the past couple of minutes there. So, you know, a little bit of spike in volume in Bitcoin, nothing really showing up in the longs and shorts just yet. You know, the question is, what kind of strength, what kind of continuation are we going to see here? Because we have this initial pump and we keep seeing this little pump, little pump, little pump. And then the follow through thing has been always very suspect. What kind of follow through is going to be achieved here? How many times can Litecoin, you know, retest $60 and not be able to hold above it? How many times Ethereum, you know, once again back in the 130s, 135 area? Let's actually take out Ethereum right here. Let's see. You know, again, 31. Again, we're only up about $4 in Ethereum's price action here. Keep things in perspective here if thinking about FOMOing into this. Okay, the only thing that's going to drive this is Bitcoin getting back over 4K. And I mean over 4K with like running room. We keep testing, you know, 39.50, 39.80s. You know, we're only $50 away from Bitcoin 4K, and yet this market is finding such a struggle to get us kind of back over the hump after being over it and under it and over it and under it so many times here. We're still early in the day, and what kind of a lower wick have we put in? Remember, setting up a lower wick, setting up an upper wick based on the price action. I mean, look at BCH here. Trying to put a move as well. All these charts, especially our higher time frame ones, are still looking pretty good. Because of Bitcoin, there we go, 3960, 3963. All right, let's see it. Here we go. Let's see how we can get. Remember, if we can get back over 4K, all those people that kept loading shorts every time we dropped over 4K have been rewarded in doing so. But watch the middle line here. Stop that little line of support needs to hold the resistance in a way that it consistently has been doing as support pretty much through the previous last week and a half of March there. Okay, there's nothing about this move yet that has convinced me until our volume profile gives us the spike action and the continuation that we're looking for. And I think I want to see more of that bullishness we're seeing in the altcoin market, especially, I think EOS was a good primer. We looked at it a little earlier. But right now it's just about Bitcoin. That's good. And the fact that on the daily, on the other time frames, I did want to look at one thing that reminded me on the weekly. It was about how our stochastic here have been topped off. These actually have come back up bullishly to just under 100 on both of them there. And in a bullish stance that we have not seen since December of 2016. And that did hold out for, about a week or so. And we've basically been topped off longer than that from our leading indicator, and even our trailer has been up here for over a week. This is unprecedented on our weekly stochastic there. And our weekly candle, man, what a weekly candle this thing would be if we could close as like some just wicked hammer here. A long lower wick, bullish. But we're only on Tuesday. Our volume profile is still undetermined. Undetermined is the word I like to use there. And we have, in a way, backtested enough of our middle Bollinger, to be able to confirm it as support. As Bitcoin is trying to push higher and take the altcoin market with it. Now, all these other coins, and this is the great example of how Litecoin has been much more bullish. If Bitcoin had been Litecoin, Bitcoin would already be over 5K by now. Almost back up to 6K, if you will. But Litecoin also went down to $22. Bitcoin only went down to $3,200. So did Litecoin already set up the example of how far Bitcoin could achieve? As Litecoin has been able to range all the way to the upper Bollinger on the weekly chart, where Bitcoin has yet to, at $4,700 and falling. Remember, next week the upper Bollinger is going to be around $4,400 as the weeklies tighten, as the dailies tighten. Look how tight our daily BBs are. Remember, 2 days in a row we could close below middle Bollinger. Just because we are above it intra-candle right now, intraday right now, it's good. But it's still too early to really adjust the sense there in this market, other than the fact the RSI is still above 55. And we like that. We like to have an RSI above 55. But still, we have to keep in mind the fact that until we were able to break out of this lower lows pattern to a higher high pattern and a higher low pattern, okay, then the bearishness overall is still inherent and still controls our market. And I've stated it many times. Get me over $4,000, please. And I'll be convinced you can truly do it. And now what all we've done here is on our 15-minute candle once again. Our 15-minute RSI is up to 84 now. Haven't been above this area for almost 2 weeks. We're able to get to 90. Oh, I wonder what does our OBV look like on our daily there. Yeah, nice little spike up there, still holding upper channel range here with a little back test is still possible. But let's keep perspective here. Every bearish break has been bought up, ranging higher, finding middle Bollinger support, ranging higher, finding upper Bollinger resistance, ranging lower, finding middle Bollinger resistance, and now trying to buck that trend and then take this daily candle and close above it 21 hours from now, which would be a good achievement to really strive for. But keep in mind that this could also turn into an upper wick candle closing below our Bollinger as we have a lot of our day left to go. So don't think that this trend can't turn on a dime, even though we're seeing, once again, a nice little start to our day. And the upper breaks here of our price action here. What's the catalyst? Because we're not really seeing Litecoin take its turn. We're not really seeing Litecoin reassert. You know, we're not really seeing Ethereum reassert. Everything seems to be at this stage in the cycle waiting for Bitcoin to really assert itself and show how strong it can be. And a lot of that has to do with the volume that we're still kind of waiting for to see take hold and take shape. Where have I lost my time frames for some reason? So I want to leave you with a couple of my thoughts. I'll be watching our volume. I'll be watching again. We're just back testing range support 3960s. Now back tested as resistance, but we're still early in our candle, especially our daily. Keep note of bullish divergence that we're looking for in our overall trend. And you know, I still feel like we're very long in the tooth in this overall move here, and that a bigger correction would be healthier. You know, day 38 of our bullish stochastic oscillator compared to 20 bars the last time we found our bottom area 32. So we're almost doubling our bullish trend here on our daily oscillator. Still in our cloud. And what was interesting, let me hide my Bollingers, don't need both, is that we were closing below our Tenkan-sen and we were below it, and now we're using it as support back to achieving Tenkan-sen support. after been riding it the past 3 days. They're still holding, and overall cloud support can still take us to the $3,700 to $3,800 there as we range out over the next several weeks to our bullish Kumo twist happening later on in April there. So these areas, these key areas of support, still continue to hold in Bitcoin's price action. And when lower ranges continue to hold, upper ranges are set to be tested. And so far that continues to be the case until proven otherwise. But in this short time zone, time period, middle channel resistance brings us maybe as high as 4K. After that, we either blast through with conviction volume, or it's going to be another rejection once again. And I think if we break our overall channel here, if we fail to hold support somewhere in the 3850s, maybe 3820s, then our next really dominant range of overall liquidity and support is around this $3,400, $3,600 area. And that continues to be the case once again on this evening of Bitcoin price action. And with that, I think it's time to call it a night. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys are great. Much appreciated. Give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, I'm going to follow me on Twitter at Big Chonis, BigChonis.com. Follow me on YouTube. Remember to become a subscriber to my channel so you can know exactly when I'm going live. You guys are great. I much appreciate your support and the thumbs up. Thank you guys for joining me today in this. Wow, well, how long we talked here? Just about an hour of price action of Bitcoin. And with that, Big Chonis here. Talk to you on the flip side. Peace out.